We've got a couple of car audio things to look at today. Got this head unit, this amplifier, Toyota multi-power amplifier. Reckons it goes up to 50 watts times 2 for subwoofer, front woofer, and then 2 lots of 30 watts times 2 is the model details. We'll look at this amplifier first, and then we'll take this apart. Now I think what's going on here, 50 watts times 2, that means that it will be a bridge type amplifier just running off of 12 volts, which will be a thing like speaker, and then that will be sitting between 2 amplifiers. With the 12 volts at the top. And ground down the bottom, and then the speakers between that, which means these transistors here will turn on together and provide 12 volts in that direction, and then these two will turn on together and provide 12 volts in the other direction. And because of that, you can get close to 50 watts. I think, say a car power supply is more like 14 volts when the car's running. Depending on how eager the alternator is, it could be a bit more, 14.5. And then the transistors will have saturated around 0.3 volts ish. So if we take 0.6 off of 14, and so we've got 13.4 volts that we can apply across the speaker. So 13.4 squared over 4 ohm speaker, about 44 watts. Maybe that's slightly less, 3.6 ohm speaker. That's pretty close to 50 watts. That's probably how they got that. Let's take it apart and see if that is indeed what's happening. I'm guessing this will just be one circuit board. Don't know what type of car this came out of. Both of these things were just given to me recently because they were going to get thrown out. So I said, oh, I'll take that and can make a video about it. Here we are. So the only connections on this thing are here. I don't know anything about the pinouts of that. So there's screws here, screws along here, and then it looks like this bottom cover can come off independently. Presumably those ones on the other side are holding heat sinks against this top cast aluminum part. No idea if this is blown up or not, or whether it was just pulled out to be replaced with something bigger, as you do. That should come off. Oh yes, look at that, one board. I think we'll take these other screws off and then we should be able to get the board out. So we can see there some devices are joining onto that. So there'll be 2 blocks, one block there, heatsink to the side, and then there's a raise, it looks like. And then, yeah, there's some integrated power amplifier things, front left, front right, or front and rear right, front and rear left, and then it says woofer left, woofer right. I think that looks like it's more a discrete type of amplifier. Maybe it does have a switch mode power supply in it to produce a higher voltage. Oh, there's also screws here at the tops of the connectors. All JIS screws, of course. Well, it gives you the pinout written there, so we could get it working maybe. And it looks like there's an integrated amplifier there that then drives external power transistors perhaps. Or maybe that's power supply stuff. Oh yeah, that does look like power supply. Switching transistors there, inductors, diodes, capacitors, then into power supply, so maybe it has got a boost converter type thing in it. That'll be exciting if it does. Oh yeah, it says there, look, plus or minus 20 volts, plus or minus 15 volts. Okay, so it does have converters in it, it's not just a bridged thing, it's actually got a lot of stuff in it. Something's happened to that. So it is a whole interesting switch mode thing. There's some kind of extra stuff on there. Another kind of op-ampy thing. Yeah, with provision for another one. Not sure what that's all about. Nothing looks like it's been on fire. I can see it. I'm only using 85-degree caps in it, which is a bit suspect. I don't know what's in there. Oh, that's probably a filter choke for the power supply to remove noise. And then there's a switch mode converter. Oh, so it's not inductors, it's a whole transformery thing. Maybe it's isolated. Looks like it, like a half bridge driving a transformer primary, sort of. Well, it's different to that. It's center tapped, and then 2 transistors to ground. Yeah, push-pull thing, I don't know what you call that. Then diodes, capacitors. You can see how this thing gets connected up. The bigger one is speakers, front and rear, left and right, and then woofers, and then pew. That will be the voltage. Main power input with a diode so that it will short it out if you connect it up around the wrong way. And then on this other terminal, which has smaller pins, that's the inputs, left, right, another BE, mute, pre-ground, accessories, which doesn't look like it goes. Oh, it's double-sided. Goes somewhere. It goes all the way over here. So it must power up some preamp part of it. Amp positive. What that goes to. Yeah, well, there you go. There's some relays. Presumably that's for muting while it gets itself powered up and started up. Yeah, that's a lot more involved than I was expecting. Say that about 50 times. You can see this pre-driver part here, NEC UPC1225H, and then we should pull off that so we can see what those other fully integrated amplifiers are. So output devices, Senkin, that's 2SC 4064, 2SA 1567 presumably. Yeah, the actual Senkin brand. Oh, there's a Toshiba TA7294. That's a 30 watt or whatever it said. 30 watt by 2 amplifier. Fully integrated. Weird they've used 85-degree capacitors, especially in the switch mode circuit where they'll be exposed to quite a bit of noise. I think those would be better quality 105-degree stuff. Weird. They are Elner. And then these are Durex 2. Well, that's Elner as well. Okay, that's the series then. But these ones over here, that's something else, which I've not seen before. Well, not that I know of. Care? Oh no, that's just another series name. They're also Elner Carafine or something. Don't know, but they're Elner brand, but also 85 degrees. Wonder if they're all wrecked. Could be. And these will be some sort of dual op amp or quad op amp. Little civil package thingies. Alright, there you go. That's a car amplifier, a stock type car amplifier, not the type that people add to their cars. It's from some of those more high-end Toyota where they've got good sound built in from factory. I don't know if it's worth keeping this or if it even works. Should we try powering it up sometime? Anyway, we'll put it away for now and we'll look at the other thing. Head unit? It's made of stuff that probably was really nice to start with, but now it's really sticky and horrible feeling. Yeah, not good at all. It's, yeah, I don't know if that's why it was got rid of. Very nice feeling encoder knobs there. CD soft type buttons depending on what's on the screen. Details, Blaupunkt V-Dub, made in Portugal. They give you the pinout on, I saw it somewhere, here on the top. So it can be powered up by joining onto that UB. So I think we should turn that on. Got that joined up there. making a weird noise. Oh, look, there you go. It's got a menu. Okay, bass and treble controls. Setup. Gala. I don't know what that means. On-vol. Sound. Bass, treble, balance. Okay, is that all you can do? Alright. No CD. Alright, let's take it apart. It's not as fancy as those ones that have GPS and TV screens and all that business built into them. We're going to need some kind of a screw. This sort of business. T8. No idea if this works. Presumably it does, and it was just taken out because it's weird and not fancy like newer ones, I guess. There's a warranty seal sticker. Guess that there's the aerial. Bit different to what I've seen before. Oh, okay, that wrecked something inside. Oh, there's a big one there. I don't know what that's all about. I also don't know if I've got a big enough doofy to undo this. Got a T20. Oh yeah, look at that. Does that even need to come off? Yeah, let's see what happens now. We might need a sort of prying thing. Oh, look at that. So what fell into there? Not that. Oh, so that has to lift up before it comes out. And that's something else. Fell in. Don't know. There's something else fell out without me noticing. You can get this CD mechanism off. This thing's very empty. Expecting a bit more stuff in it. Oh, there's this. Is it micro match header? Wow. Never seen one of those in a product before. Micro match, I think. Not Picoflex, is it? Micro match. It's very, I don't know, weird. There's a CD drive. So I wonder, is that something you can just make go by itself? VCC. It's got L out, R out, L, ground, transmit. Guess so, but you have to talk to it somehow over this transmit and presumably a receive somewhere. But that's probably got all the stuff it needs to be a CD player. And then there's just one board with some sort of tuner thing, some ICs, connector stuff, a weird holder for an electrolytic, and the power amplifier. Yeah, that's another one. Oh, it was a brackety thing. Bottom of the board, there's some insulating material there so that that doesn't touch the metal too much. It's kind of like that phenolic-y stuff that they make very low-end PCBs out of. Oh, it's soldered to the metal. Oh, that's annoying. That's going to be annoying to get out. Multiple places. And then there's bent over spiky things. Sticker on it. I suppose we should heat up the soldering iron so we can get that thing out. So what's there? Yeah, there is a connector which goes through to the front. It looks like the front just comes off. Yeah, look at that. So that's its own module. Okay, we'll get that apart. Next, let's just get this board off the bottom, just for the lols. Oh, there's more stuff holding it. Oh no! The power amplifier heatsink is also like staked through. It's got to reach in there to release it from the heatsink. Okay, now should be able to get these off. What else is holding it down? Oh yeah, that's just the device pushing on the heatsink because of the paste. Okay, I think we've freed it. That cap thing that went into it was just vibration resistance, I think, so that that capacitor doesn't wobble itself off, and so that they don't have to glue it down. Well, there's a couple of caps. Another one of those things over here. This is going to go into the scrap metal bin. So that's been assembled by just hooking itself over the other one. Like that. That's a different material, but it's got to separate that for recycling. Get this thing out. Great! Metal recycling. And there's a can around this. So here's the board. Not much going on the bottom. And it's got some NEC chip from Ireland. And it's got these two chips. I don't know what those are. They're probably some custom thing for making radios and stuff go. Some sort of power supply business there. There's a little switch mode maybe with that inductor. I don't know, that's too close to the aerials. Yeah, integrated power amplifier. ST TDA7566. Another can thing. See if we can get off. This, to undo the screw first. Got a little fuse in it, 10 amps. Good, more for the scrap metal. And this can also go in the scrap metal because they take electronics. Yeah, I'm still interested about that. Is it micro match? It's not Picoflex, is it? That's the other one. Let's take a look at the front panel, see what it's got to say for itself. You need a smaller screwdriver for that. Yeah, rotary encoders feel really nice on this, so that will be something worth salvaging. Not sure what the screen is, some sort of generic dot matrix or if it was something else, custom. I have to look back at the picture to see. That's a very thick chunk of metal there. Oh yeah, look at that, it's directly soldered on. That'll be for the screen. Yes, that'll be some sort of custom thing. Oh, there's extra bits from the membrane. Another ST thing there. Presumably a microcontroller with that 16 megahertz crystal thing. Another ST, some sort of switch mode. Perhaps that creates the bias for the LCD. Now I have to take these knobbies off. I guess there'll be a lot of LEDs on this for all the night backlighting stuff. Seems to be a whole bunch of, are they maybe dual diodes to make a keyboard matrix? Whoa, look at that. Whoa, look at that. It's a light pipe that shines up around those arms and illuminates that thing. Wow. And it's got little teethy bits on there so that it shines to reflect the light upwards. That's quite exciting. Yeah, it's got a real nice push to these. See if I can desolder that. Oh look, they haven't soldered in that, so it should be easy to get these out so they can be used on something else. Or just stashed away and never used because they're too good to use. So the LCD is held by those. Yeah, it's not going to unplug. Oh, look at that. The backlighting shines in through there. Surround. Special backlight diffusing plastic. And so it's textured on the back, I think, to help it reflect upwards. Also, that will help. And there's some sort of mirror thing in there to get the light to go around so it enters into that. And that will be some sort of chip-on board thing, or chip-on glass, die-on glass. LCD driver built into there. I guess it's whatever that is there, 4D23-40. Not really something that we can discover, is it? Tracks there go to some unpopulated stuff, looks like SOICs. Maybe there's a variant of it that needs those. And then it pretty much comes in from over here, so maybe there's no LCD driver on this. Maybe that's just to do with button scanning, maybe encoder reading as well. Looks like they're heat sinking the LED legs with wide tracks coming off them there. So they must be pretty grunty, or they're pushing them pretty hard. So they heat sink it into the board. Nice matte, sort of semi-matte solder mask on the board there. Great. Membrane keypad. Last thing, got a CD drive. That's Philips. Unlike everything else so far. I wonder if it's actually Philips rather than JIS. Possibly, this is a very European thing. The one JIS fits them reasonably good. Probably better than that one Philips did. Find a 0 for that screw. Now is that on another layer? Looks like it is. Guess we'll destroy the CD player as well, we might as well. There's not much other reason to keep any of this stuff, is there? CD's kind of defunct now. Just recycle this. Oh, there's springs. Oh, it's got a little hinged thingy there. That's interesting. And it's got this really nice, like, multi-way thin ribbon cable. A shock mount thing there. Oh, look at that. That's quite exciting. The mechanisms on shock mounts, yeah. Oh, and with springs. Wow, that's exciting. It just bounces through those ribbon cables. These are JIS, and they're real perfect fit. Yeah, the size 0. Enough that that can just stay there. Oh, a double-sided board. Sneaky surface mount electrolytic hiding there. Panasonic, presumably motor driver, because it's got the heatsink. And another Panasonic. See the Matsushita logo. And some custom chip thing. All Panasonic, and then an NEC chip. Yeah, it's got the weird type of fires. Oh yeah, this is a phenolic type board, so it's had that conductive stuff injected through the holes to connect rather than it being plated. Cost saving. There's a release clip thing on these. They're different colours. Probably to do with different squidginesses of the material inside them. See that? It's got some kind of gel in there. We turned it inside out. some kind of gel in there, and then that dampens the movement. So there's black ones, green ones, and blue ones. Someone should rupture one of these so we can squeeze the juice out. It'll be some kind of silicone oil type stuff, I think. We should cut that little knobble off of it. Oh no, it's kind of, it looks like a grease. So the viscosity of that toothpaste looking stuff is what provides the damping. And it's not grease, it's just some kind of mush. Alright, great. Stick that over there. And 2 more to play with later. So there's drive for the sled for the laser pickup. And then there's this business here to do with the loading. Oh, it's got a roller in there to pull the disc in and out. Not really sure what the next step is to get this thing apart. Yeah, that spring came off. Oh yes, the various parts of the mechanism. I think it needs motors though to do anything else. That must drop down or something drops up. That tilts and does something. Once the disc goes in to push the laser assembly up or to bring this down. Yeah, it might have got wrecked already. Oh man, maybe it was just that tilts down. That's it. Yeah, there's the roller. Oh, so that gets out of the way when it's playing. Okay. By that thing moving. Don't know what's stopping it from moving now. Oh, so it's all part of this business. And so if we pulled off one of those gears, then we'd be able to operate that. There's unclip. Yeah, so that gets pulled in, which brings that down, and it brings those little teeth up so that you can't load another disc while there's one in there. Okay, now it's stuck in that position, so it's withdrawn that roller. Okay, pretty good. Now we've got grease everywhere. The laser assembly with the rod that it runs on. Oh, that's screwed on. Yeah, that's the thing with JIs, isn't it? Even this huge looking screwdriver will perfectly fit in that tiny little screw because the point goes so fine. Yes, that's a laser pickup. The laser on one of those and pickup on the other one. And then there's prismy things inside there. And then there's the focusing assembly for the lens. Little voice coil things which can pull it around up and down and side to side to get the focus. Oh, there's a mode switch there so that it knows what's going on. There's 3 terminals. So as that rotates, it will set the state of some IOs there. We're just making a mess. Anyway, I want to take this switch apart to see what states it has. There you go. So it's got all those 3 contacts joined together. It looks like a kind of binary-ish thing of 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 1 by itself, and then 1 again at the same time as the other one, maybe. And 3, then yeah, I don't know. Maybe not quite binary. Yeah, it's like really fine ribbon cable. The wires are joined together next to each other. That's quite neat. Standard DC motor for the spindle and for the other stuff. A little loading motor thing. A switch to detect the home position for the lens sled assembly. Whoa, the thing that pushes the roller along. There's an interesting gear. And now there's an E-clip there. Yeah, so it can change mode, so it can drive 2 different things depending on what state it's in. Either drives the lens up and down or it drove the loading mechanism. That's cunning. And presumably that spindle thing pops off. Friction fit, and then there's two more little tiny screws. And it still fits. Look at that. How tiny those screws are. And yet this number 0 still perfectly fits them. Like really well fits. Yeah, small motor. Think we might be done there. That was a, was it V-dub head unit? CD radio head unit. Now it's some metal to get recycled. Rather than just taking it to the landfill. Let me know if that was interesting or not. Anyway, we'll get on to a whole bunch of VCRs soon and a whole bunch more video cameras.